7:14 on this Monday morning. Real quick, Soul Sneakers basketball and cheerleading kicks off the 2016 registration season. They'll have evaluations on Saturday the 14th from 2 to 4 and Sunday November 15th from 2 to 4. You can schedule an after-school evaluation by appointment by calling 870-425-5421. Soul Sneakers basketball is put on by First Baptist Church at the Christian Life Center, 400 Club Boulevard. It actually faces Spring Street. It's next to Cooper Park, but that's the address they gave them. Anyway, $25 for basketball, $30 for cheerleading, and coaches and volunteers are needed. Practice begins in December. Games start on January 9th. It's Soul Sneakers basketball, First Baptist Church, Christian Life Center. Mike Sisk is here. Going to talk a little car maintenance.
Hello, Dale.
Howdy.
Man, my truck had frost on it this morning. I think this is the first one this year for me.
Yeah. Yep. Sure enough.
I had to defrost it a bit.
Yeah. I hit that little click, get that back window clear.
Yeah, I stand there talking to Donald while you guys were doing the first segment of this, and it's hard to believe, but by the end of this week, we're in the middle of November.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah, this has been a very quick year, and holidays are right on top of us. Yep. Way it goes.
That's it.
Yep, that's the way it goes.
Join the fun, have fun. We'll turn the corner into 2016.
Yes.
We get out of the holidays and we'll be talking elections.
Man, they've been talking elections for way too long.
Oh, don't it just wear you out?
Yes.
Just wears you out.
Everybody,
I have so many people because the aspects of the job here. Well, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Look, this is November. I mean, even as far back as August, September. So I'm not doing anything on the national scene till after the first of the year.
No.
Let them weed themselves out, and then we'll take a look at it.
Yeah, and it will. It'll thin right on down. And
the important thing is we have a primary in March, and the importance of the primary, another importance of the primary is that's our judicial, because we're going to be electing new judges locally and on the state level. Now, remember, when you vote for that judge in the primary, that's the election. Because why they put judges in the primary, I don't know. Yeah. And a lot of times, I don't know who this guy is. I think I'll vote for this guy. His name looks easier to read or something. That's how it is.
Yeah.
Important races, District Court in Baxter-Marion County, Mark Cooper and Judge Duffy, Jason Duffy, two good men. So make a choice and vote March 1st.
Right. Yeah, and those judicial decisions affect all of us in one way or the other typically. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a question for our expert today.
Where's he at?
Maybe he'll call in. Went to my spark plugs for a vehicle and was caught off guard by the prices. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Double platinum.
Well,
for a 5.4 Ford?
Yeah,
those are almost $300, aren't they?
Spark plugs get crazy in price. It wasn't really all that long ago. We used to go to the auto parts store, and you'd walk up to the counter and get you a set of copper spark plugs, and they work just fine. Copper is a good conductor of electricity, which is what a spark plug does.
Yep.
And it has low resistance. It does everything it's supposed to, but it wears fairly quickly compared to some other materials. You're looking at 30, 40,000 mile life on a set of copper spark plugs. Probably. I think that's a good even number. And many manufacturers now have gone away from copper, and they've moved into other materials. I think, what'll surprise you, Dale, is how many Chrysler products still use copper spark plugs.
Mine does.
Yeah, so does mine.
Mm-hmm. No. Mine's platinum now.
No, my truck.
You're still copper?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, it's copper spark plugs, and it's 2 of them per cylinder, so there's nothing like changing 16 plugs on an 8-cylinder engine.
They put exhaust side on the Hemi?
They got 2 of them together.
Don't you?
Yeah, they got 2 of them together.
Really?
Yes. They got 1 coil on top of each 2 spark plugs.
They dividing the spark or increasing the spark?
And I don't really, let me see if I can get this right. One of them sparks as the engine approaches top dead center, and the other one will spark as it starts down to push it down.
Okay, one's before top dead center.
One's after.
Okay.
Yeah. And so anyway, copper spark plugs, they're cheap. That's the great thing about them. They don't, again, they don't use that much copper plugs anymore. And they make life easier for the ignition system, I believe, because of the fact there's less resistance. Well, if some years back, late 90s, I'm guessing somewhere there, you started to see platinum spark plugs show up.
Mm-hmm.
And General Motors and Ford went pretty big into that stuff. And platinum spark plugs offer the advantage of probably double the life.
Yeah, my original set went 103,000 miles.
They go double the life of what your copper spark plugs will go. And platinum is a good long-wearing product. The downside of the platinum, other than they cost more, well, that's about it. Yeah, they cost more, and they offer a little more resistance. I don't think they conduct electricity. The platinum doesn't quite as good as your copper plugs. And then we ended up with a platinum spark plug is platinum only on one side of the contacts on the center electrode. Platinum.
Really?
Then we got into double platinum. Remember that? Double platinum is where it's platinum on both sides, on the ground and on the center electrode. They last a ridiculously long time. We have got a bunch of General Motors vehicles and stuff that's come in with 130, 40, 50,000 miles that are running double platinum spark plugs. And, they were running fine. They were still running pretty darn good. And now we're seeing vehicles come in with iridium spark plugs. And this is
seeing that here. I'm looking at spark plugs now, and they're $13 a piece.
Yeah, as I say, iridium, it don't take but just a second for them to cost $13 to $15 a spark plug. And another thing with iridium, don't gap them.
Really?
They come from the factory pre-gapped, and the tools that most of us have to gap spark plugs with, can damage the iridium coating on the contacts.
Really?
And yes, it can. So be careful about that stuff. They are pre-gapped from the factory. Iridium is just another fancy term for a
expensive spark plug.
Expensive spark plug that's going to run a very, very long time.
Okay, let me click. Let's say 2013. Pick a brand.
Chevy.
Okay, Chevrolet. Pickup truck.
Yeah.
Silverado
5.3.
Okay, half ton or 3/4?
Half
ton, 5.3.
That's a very common vehicle in our area.
Okay, multi-port injection. Okay, we'll go with that one and see how much they are.
Quite a bit.
The laser iridium, $10 a plug.
Yep.
NGK Iridium, $7.99. Autolite XP, you don't want to run Autolite, you want to run AC Doug. They're still $7 a piece.
Yeah.
Yep,
spark plugs are high.
I remember when the days of our 383, it was 79 cents for the regular plug or 89 cents for the resistor plug. As they keep the beep, 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 beep
out of the radio. Well, we remember back to the copper plugs, and the biggest deal with them is the gap erodes. Yep. You gap them at 45 thousandths when you put them in. 40,000 miles later, the gap on those plugs is opened up considerably.
Oh, we used to pull the plugs and re-gap them. Remember?
Yeah.
Instead of just spending $8 for a new set.
Yeah, we'd gap them again. But that was one of the biggest
Tap
deals.
them on a concrete block.
That's like we was talking, copper erodes. So the gap, the gap that was 45 thousandths, when you pull them out then, it may be 60 thousandths. And the iridium spark plugs, the double platinum and all that stuff, the gap does not erode it's a much slower rate.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, we've pulled them out of GMs at 100,000 miles where the factory gap is 60, and it's not off much.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive performance.
But the AC Delco plug is a good spark plug.
Sure it is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Now, here's a Polestar Plasma Core plus spark plug, $15 a piece, that goes into the Chevrolet that we queued up here.
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. You guys all remember the days of turning on the TV and you'd see the ads for split fire spark plugs and all that stuff. They're going to give you an extra 5 miles to the gallon and 20 more horsepower. I have never seen that yet from a set of spark plugs.
Here's the thing with that. My boy did that. One of my boys did that one time, and I held up that plug. And I said, how are you? All they've done is split the ground. That's all. That's not on the power tip. It's on the ground where they split that. I said, all you're doing is shooting the spark to two different grounds. That's all it amounts to. What year's your Dodge? Your RAM.
10.
Your 10.
Yep. The split fire, there had so many of those spark plugs back in the day that promised you the sun, the moon, and the stars and didn't deliver on any of the three, really, I don't think. But that's the explanation when this person's asking about why spark plugs are so expensive. If they have not bought plugs in several years and then they go out to buy a set of, maybe their car takes iridium.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say what kind of car they have. Maybe they take iridium plugs and they're looking at $8 to $10 a piece. Well, yeah, that will shock you if the last set of spark plugs you got costs $10,
Yeah.
or $20 even.
And you can put NGK laser platinums for 14 in that Hemi you got out there.
Well, I need 16, Dale. So,
Well, now, here you go. Champion copper spark plug
Yep.
209.
and that's what I'll put in it.
Yeah.
Is
That's OE.
Yep, I go back with whatever the original equipment is.
Okay, let's hammer on that for a minute. If you're driving a Chevrolet, a Ram, Ford, whatever, check the original.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that make a lot of good products out there, and for me personally, when I'm putting in spark plugs in a Chrysler product, I try to go with Champion because that's what
Sure.
Dodge or Chrysler's.
Been on them
They've
since the late 50s.
yes, and the research and development, the engineers have decided this is the spark plug that performs best in this vehicle. So I'm not going to argue with them, and that's why on a General Motors we go with AC Delco.
Yep.
And on a Ford we go with Motorcraft.
Mm-hmm.
And on the imports, it varies on imports. When you get into Asian cars, some of them OE will be NGK, some of them are Denso.
Mm-hmm.
Different things on the Asian imports. But when we call to order the spark plugs, we always tell them to send us OE equivalents.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the best way to do it.
It is. It works well.
In my days in the garage, when I was tuning up, if it was a General Motors, most generally was a 350 or 400, 455, it got all AC Delco, cap rotor wires, all the way down.
And
AC
we have
Delco.
had some instances with Ford products where people could bring them in and they're logging a misfire, got a check engine light on, and it's acting up. And you get in there and you see where they have put spark plugs in it. And instead of the Motorcraft double platinums that the vehicle came with, maybe they saved a buck or two and went with copper plugs, and it just doesn't seem to work with the Ford ignition system. So you can yank them out of there and put in some Motorcraft double platinums, and that will cure that particular issue. So if you're doing spark plugs on your own vehicle, go with what the original equipment manufacturer recommends. I think that's pretty good, safe advice.
And that advice is coming from Minute Mechanic on Highway 201 North. They're going to take good care of your vehicle. We need to talk about the upcoming holiday, because have you decided on the 27th, are you going to get that holiday? You're going to close on Thursday?
Most likely we are.
You deserve it.
We got busy last week, and I never even thought about it much. We'll have a decision made this week on that.
Well, let's plan ahead. Let's plan on the fact that Minute Mechanic is going to take Thursday and Friday, the 26th and 27th, for vacation. So let's get in and get the maintenance done now.
Yes.
We're within 2 weeks and 3 days of Thanksgiving. So
man, and it's a busy time. So many people travel on Thanksgiving. The roads are full of people. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're going.
Yeah.
And I think we may be making a little run this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Where you headed?
Over to Fayetteville to see our daughter. She's hung at work on Thanksgiving days. I think we're going to maybe run over there and see her.
Well, that'd be fun.
So if you've got plans to make a big trip and you think you need some stuff done, just don't wait. Yeah, don't wait till the last instant.
Check
because
the tires, check those belts, check your lights. Get in, give Mike a call, 425-3135. Give him a chance to get back to work. And,
don't wait till the last minute, because we're going to have a lot of that, and we try so hard to get everybody in and out, but it gets tough. It's the closer we get to Thanksgiving. That's one of our busiest times.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Min Mechanics located Highway 201 North, right across from Salvation Army. Give Mike or Dennis, who answers the phone this week, 425-3135, and they'll get you scheduled. They'll be there Monday through Friday this week, Monday through Friday next week, but Monday through Wednesday, 23rd, 24th, and 25th. Don't wait until 3 o'clock on the 25th, because you may not get in.
Yeah, that's not a good plan.
I would assume that by the 25th at noon, it's going to be finishing up and cleaning up and getting ready
A
to
lot
head
of times
out.
what we run into on the day before a holiday is sometime right after lunch, it slows down a bunch because people are on the road.
There you go.
Like Christmas Eve is always a good one.
That's how it needs to be.
Yep.
Mike will be there about 8 o'clock. Give him a call, 425-3135. Minute Mechanics here to serve you. Give him a call. That brings us up to news time. We will be right back.